Hello, I'm Sarah and this is Serenade Makes. This week I made a self-watering plant shelf. I'm really bad at keeping indoor plants alive. I just forget to water them and end up just with dead plants all over my house. As you can tell by this scraggly little cat grass here. Aside from the cat grass, there's also a bronze Venus fern and a Japanese money tree. Both were available at my local garden center, and I double-checked to make sure that they were cat safe. Wouldn't want my perfect, precious boy to eat them and then puke all over the house. Do want to explain what a self-watering plant shelf is. Essentially, it is just a plant that sits on top of a shelf. Underneath there is a water reservoir, and then there is a wick that goes from the plant down into the water reservoir so that through the capillary action, the soil can pull as much water as it needs from the reservoir, which means you don't have to water it every day, which means less dead plants. Fewer dead plants. Now this shelf that I got is actually made for hanging on the wall, but it was actually the perfect size for 3 plants and also had a really cute heart window in the middle so that I can check the reservoir to make sure that there's enough water in it. The biggest problem with it being meant for hanging on the shelf was that it doesn't actually have any feet for sitting on a table. My first bad idea was trying to use my rotary tool for it. It was just not powerful enough and honestly kind of scared me. Now can you tell where my next bad idea is? Can you find it? Yes, it's the reciprocating saw. Very scary, bad idea. So eventually I wised up, went to the hardware store and bought a hacksaw. This would have been a good idea had I known how to cut straight lines. Very important if you want something to stand up. Rather than cutting straight lines, I cut very, very angled lines. Bad for standing up. I tried to correct this and level it out by sanding it, and sanding it, and sanding it, and sanding it. It, kinda worked. No, it didn't work at all. I thought maybe if I put the cubes underneath it and then plants on top of it that it would somehow want to stand up straight, but no, it's just not gonna stand up straight. So, time for plan Z, which is to attach some feet to the back of it. Part of the problem is that these feet that I created are way up towards the front, so there's nothing in the back holding it up. So I took some scrap wood and the new hacksaw and cut down some legs. Then I nailed them into a curved piece of wood. Again, bad idea. I mean, it works for now. But if I move it around too much, the legs do kind of just do like this because it's on a curved surface, even with a couple nails in it. Next, I did even more sanding to remove the finish. Since this is meant to hang on the wall, the front of it is actually the part that goes against the wall. So I wanted to sand that down and sand all of the exterior down so that I could seal it and it would all be unified. Hi, this is Editing Sarah with my lovely assistant. And I can't believe I didn't record voiceover for this next part. I completely forgot, but it was my absolute favorite part. I used a 3/4 inch spade bit to drill 3 holes that line up with the bottom of the pots that I'm using for the wick to go through. If you haven't used a spade bit before, I highly recommend it. It was so fun, and I want to drill holes in everything now. It was super fast and super easy. The only part that I had trouble with was the first hole was right next to a knot, so I did have to flip it over and come at it from the other side as well because the wood was just a lot tougher. After that, I wiped it down with some warm, slightly soapy water. Now I ended up using flaxseed oil to seal this. It is related to linseed oil, which is very commonly used in woodworking to seal wood. Flaxseed oil is different. I think it's produced differently, but from the same plant. I have no idea how well flaxseed oil seals wood. I guess we'll find out. If you have any better ideas for sealants that I should use that will keep it water resistant, please let me know in the comments. Now it's time to create the wicks. I used some scrap fleece that I had lying around. Now I don't know if other fabrics might be better for their water wicking potential, better capillary action, whatever. If you do know anything about that, let me know in the comments. I'd love to upgrade this whole shebang to be a little more long-term. To attach the wicks, I'm simply going to use a dab of hot glue You want to make sure that you leave a bundle at the bottom of the pot for maximum contact with the soil, as well as a long tail underneath so that it can make contact with the water reservoir underneath. And the last step that's left is just to plant the plants. Nothing too special about this, just some potting soil and placing the plants inside. And boy, I love how this turned out. It is so cute. Worth all of the effort, absolutely. I love the way this looks. I love that I get to keep plants in my bedroom without them being dead. Well, aside from the cat grass, which I am still in denial about. It's gonna revive itself someday, I'm sure. I just planted this about 30 minutes ago, and someone got into the plants. I mean, that is the cat grass, so that's the one he's supposed to chew on. But my goodness. That's gonna do it for me today, friends. Please like and subscribe if you liked this video. Follow me on social media. I am on Twitter at SerenadeMakes, and I stream on Twitch every Thursday at twitch.tv/SerenadeMakes. Bye!